manipulation. And it seems really odd to call it a habit, but have you ever noticed with your addicted loved one that there are times that they manipulate when it's really not necessary, when the answer would have been yes? So we talked yesterday about the different styles of manipulation and how manipulation can show up. So be sure and hop on over either to Tanya Gioia Coach on YouTube or the previous Facebook Live. And we talked about manipulation as the move to gain power over someone else. And if you've been in a relationship with a loved one who has an addiction, you know that it is emotionally destroying to emotionally manipulate someone else. And gaining that power is often what they do to get what they need. That's the very surface level of this. And when we look at the habit of manipulation, we look at something that came into being most likely a long time ago. So let me show you a very simple analogy of what is happening with your addicted loved one. So when my boy was little, he had a stuffy, and his stuffy was named Pony. And if he squeezed Pony really tight, Pony didn't scream. Or if he threw Pony, Pony didn't panic, right? Or if he bit Pony, Pony didn't say anything, did he? He was just fine. We manipulate objects, right? And so this bond with Pony was a one-way bond. Pony is an inanimate object. There is a relationship, but a relationship with an object that can be manipulated, that we have power over. Now, when my little boy went to preschool and he leaned over and he bit his friend or bit another preschooler, that preschooler went, ah, and started to cry. And my son was just amazed that that happened and that this response happened because when this object that was his companion, he did that to, it didn't change anything. But when he did it in a relationship with a human, it changed everything. So at this point, your addict is more bonded with the drug of choice than they are to you. So just like we're talking about with Pony, and like we talked about earlier with the drama triangle, this has become a habit because down here, when they are connected to whatever they're addicted to, this is the connection, right? This is an easy connection, especially when it's substance, when it's something that's completely controllable in the sense that I don't really have to have a relationship with it. I just have to get it, right? So if I'm using alcohol, drugs, even like running or reading or overwork or porn, there's no real relationship with this. It is completely one way. So I have created a habit of manipulating my environment so that I can get whatever it is that I want. And that habit blends over into the people that I love because I'm trying to exercise power over others in a way that does not work in a relationship. So, in a relationship, in a healthy relationship, you've got two directions. Just like when my son bit the child and the child went, ah! He didn't quite compute why, when he bites the inanimate object, it doesn't fuss, but when he bites a human, it does fuss. So this habit of manipulation starts, and they've used it over here successfully. They get what they want, they get their needs met, they have this feeling, this high feeling, whatever you want to call it, and it doesn't require a relationship. and it becomes unconscious. Well, we know what happens with unconscious habits. Sorry, they get taken into the conscious realm and they happen up there too, but the person no longer thinks about why they're doing it. So that's one answer to why they might lie or manipulate even when it's not necessary, is that it's a habit. And we have all kinds of habits. I mean, hopefully getting up and brushing your teeth is a habit. You just do it on autopilot. It's kind of like when you're driving and you're driving from a place that you go all the time and you think, how did I get here? You went on autopilot. So here's what I want you to stick around for, is that progress is made by telling the truth. And we talked about it yesterday. It's pause, then go inside and think about what you are feeling. So, are you feeling safety? Are you feeling trust? Are you feeling doubt? Are you feeling like you need to apologize? Then probably some manipulation is going on up here. Does the addict realizing they're manipulating? Maybe or maybe not. Somewhere, so here is a real key. Somewhere they made a decision around their feelings. So they had feelings and they said, I don't necessarily know what to do with these feelings. How can I feel better? How can I make a decision that brings me back up rather than down? So they can go to their addiction, or what we're doing with coaching and with courses is bringing them into an awareness that what they're really looking for is connection, because they've built a connection with an inanimate object over here, or some kind of substance, or some kind of pattern. But what they're really looking for is connection with a person, and healthy connection in exchange rather than manipulation, which is a power move, a power up. So if you are powering up on somebody, you are manipulating, you are imposing your will on someone else. And they do it in a couple different ways, which we talked about yesterday, but you can also do it with, so we're building. If you haven't watched the other ones, you need to go back and watch them. As the victim, they can also put you in a role to where you are the rescuer. And so they may not power up on you directly, they may power up by going underneath, but still they are looking for their needs to be met over yours or over anybody else's, and not in a connected way, but in an object way, making you the object of what they need. So, unfortunately, some of this was probably in their family to start with. If they came from a family where no truth was ever told, there might have been a partial truth, but even in the simple things, there was always a move to be sarcastic, to cover it up, to not tell the full truth, to never really be known. Then they began to make those decisions too. And especially if they were in a family where love was given, but criticism at the same time. So you never really were on solid ground of whether, am I really a valuable, worthwhile person? Or only when I do certain things am I a valuable, worthwhile person. So performance love versus unconditional love. And we'll talk more about that as we move into shame and blame, as we move into how the family has developed. But here's the main thing I want you to remember is the addiction can be manipulated until it can't, until it takes over. And then they take that manipulation habit and move up in here and manipulate you, which, just like when my young son bit his companion, destroys this relationship. They're not looking for a relationship. You have become an object to fulfill their need to go here. to go below the line. So you have become an object either in the way or an object that can fulfill what they need below the line. So I'm Tanya Gioia. This is my passion. This is my work to help families understand what's going on with their addicted loved one, to connect them back so that they have this healthy relationship, so that they know they're valuable, they're worthy, they're loved, and you are too. So join us tomorrow. We are still working on the confronting the demons in this addiction relationship. And I would love it if you joined my course below, left me a little note. Let's talk some more and smash that like if you are on YouTube.